Okay, welcome everybody to this very short video on Introduction to Excel. If you missed the class this morning, simply watch and you should be able to catch up on for those in class. Hopefully it'll... Okay, so to log on to Excel again, as usual, go to lmetv.ie, click on Staff Email. When you go in there, I want you to, instead of going into Outlook, OneDrive or Word, which we were used to, I want you to click onto Excel. Okay, I want you to open a new blank Word. In Microsoft Word, we would have been used to new blank document. Now we're going to talk about workbooks. So I'm going to select that. In Microsoft Excel, we use things called workbooks and worksheets. So if you think of them like a financial ledger, like a big red hard-backed financial ledger book, that's a workbook, and in there you would have had many sheets, and each different sheet would have recorded different financial data. It's the exact same. This is an electronic version of it. This whole document here is a workbook, and then we have worksheets down the end. So we have sheet 1, we can create a sheet 2, sheet 3, and we can click between them. Okay. Don't forget to save your work with meaningful titles. So I'm going to call this class example. Just click on, give it a name, and click off, and it'll save automatically in your OneDrive in the file name class example. Okay, so some terminology. Just like we had with tables in Microsoft Word, we've got columns, they go down. We've got rows that go across, and each individual cell is called a cell. Okay, Microsoft Excel works as a grid system. Okay, so this is column A, column B, column C, row 1, 2, 3. So this cell here is cell B3. Cell here is cell D1. This cell over here is cell 14. Okay, so it just works as a grid reference. To type into Excel, you simply just click into the cell and type. So let's say we were trying to do a budget or to record our finances and our bills for a year. Okay, so I put in January. And I simply use the arrow keys on my keyboard to go down, or my mouse to click into February, March, April, and so forth, going down. Across, I might have a gas bill, electricity, petrol, or food, say food. So I can simply then just click into cell B2 and fill in what I spent on gas in January, which might be 50 euros. Okay, electricity could have been 45 and food could have been 200. So again, I'm just using the arrow keys to go along and then just typing the numbers in. Okay, I'm going to earlier. This is one that just has the numbers filled in. Okay, so electricity, petrol, and food going across, and January, February, March, April, all the way through to December. I filled in the information of what I've spent for last year. So let's say I want to get some totals. Okay, so it's the total column, so I'll call it total. I'll go down. I want to, normally on a calculator I would add these, so I'll go 50 plus 120 plus 40. Exact same situation here. The most important thing is if you want to do a calculation in Excel, you press the equals, which is up on the top of your keyboard. You should see a plus and an equals on one button. Just press the equals, and that wakes Microsoft Excel up and says I'm going to do a calculation here. So you go equals, and then you just select, just like that grid reference, B3, you just select B3 and you say, all I want, you take B3, and then I put in the plus symbol for my keyboard. I want to add that to C3, and plus symbol again, I want to add that to D3. So I want this cell to add up what's in B3, C3, and D3. Once I get to that point, and I've entered all the cells I want, I press the enter key on my keypad. Okay, and you'll get the total amount here. I'm going to actually... Okay, so again, equals 4 plus C4 plus D4. Again, you get your equals. There's also a quicker way to do it. You can click on the cell that you want the sum total to be in, and go over here on your home menu, go over to auto sum, and just click on auto. Select by clicking and dragging the cells that you wanted to sum. So what I want you to do is, I want you to do that for each of your cells to get a total for what you've spent each month. I also want you to get totals down the end for what you spent on electricity for the year. So again, you can see here now, if I had to go equals B3 plus C3 plus it'd be very long, it'd be quite a lot of work, but instead I can simply just click on the cell and press auto sum and select what I want to auto sum. Okay, here, auto sum, click here. Now I have the totals. I have, if you think about the information I have here for January, I know how much I spent in January on bills. I also know how much electricity, petrol and food I spent over the whole year. Now, you can see here that this has changed into currency. I did that purposely before I went online. So just to show you that there are different types of formatting you can use. These are just general numbers, whereas this is treated as currency. So if I wanted this to be treated as currency, simply select the cells and go over, and you see where you've got general, and change that into currency. Okay, it'll automatically most likely go to dollar. So you go from there down to here and select euros. So now I have them as euros. Okay. Now, a good idea to do at this stage is to try and make this information stand out, and to use that, we'll be using some of the tools that we use for Microsoft Word. So I might click and select, by clicking and dragging over those cells, I want to make them bold. I want to make them bigger. We know how to do all of this from Microsoft Word. Okay, I might want the background to stand out a little. I might make them grey. Okay, again down here, I want these totals to be bold, maybe slightly bigger, and maybe a different background. Okay, so now you can, and then I might just make these bold. Now very quickly you can actually see your information a little bit better. It makes it less, if everything is the same size, and colour can be quite hard to distinguish what's a total or not, but just by adding colours and different fonts and bold, you can make the information stand. That's the house account. So what I want you to do is I'm going to send you a worksheet, and the worksheet will give you a table of figures that I want you to put into Excel and add up. And then, so you'll do that on one sheet, and then on a separate sheet, so you'll go new sheet, and call the new sheet home account. And then you'll do the same for your own bills. You don't need to put in you don't need to put in the actual amounts for your bills, but just make up the headings as you would use for your house. So what bills do you come across in your house? Maybe your mobile phone. You decide, and you make an Excel sheet to suit your home. Okay. Return the files to me. As I said, make up the numbers, and I will correct them. And hopefully, I will see you next Friday online. Okay. Thank you. Any questions in between? Just send me an email. Thanks.